So I am thinking to explain the nature of doubt that we maintain in our mind. How many kinds of doubts we have about our religious way of life. Because we cannot understand many things. But that is the nature of religion. Every religion, not only Buddhism. If people can understand these things very easily, they never take seriously. Even scientific subjects, after studying and observing and investigating, when they realize, there's no value, realized already. So religious subjects that we are talking about, we can talk, we can study, we can think forever throughout our life. But still, we never get the clear picture. Now this is the nature of religion. We create our own concept, or if not imaginations, a little bit of knowledge to appreciate until we attain the highest stage of perfection, or Arahanta, or the Buddha. There is no clear picture. That is why very easily others can mislead us. Because we have no firm footing. When others can influence us, saying something, then we follow them. We believe what they say. Because we haven't got enough background in our mind to justify, to analyze, to reason out whether what these people talk about, they are religion or power or miraculous power, supernatural power, and various other things are correct or not. We never analyze. That is our weakness. Although you remain as Buddhist, you have learned a lot. But still, your belief is not unshakable, can change. Circumstances can change your mind. Temptation can change your mind. Or your anger can change your mind. I know there are few. After studying this religion for 40 to 50 years and taking active part here in religious activities, Buddhist activities, just because of little bit of misunderstanding, to take revenge, they have changed their religion into another religion. When you analyze this, you can understand the nature of human mind, who used to preach and teach, conduct religious classes also. So the evil forces in our mind, when developed, these strong forces can eclipse, overshadow everything what you have learned, at that time, you maintain only that mental attitude. What you want is to show or to take revenge. Change your religion. Now that is why I told you, your belief is not unchangeable. Again, when you are going to get married, if your boyfriends or girlfriends belong to another religion, then who surrender his or her religion? Mostly Buddhist and Hindus. Others, very, very seldom. It is not that they appreciate that religion. Circumstances influence the mind to change religion. So, the uncertainty in our mind still remains. We are not certain. To cultivate our mind to stand firmly by understanding reality in life and the world. When our mind reach up to that level, nobody in this world who can change that mind. Favoritism, material gain, or various other things that can influence the mind cannot change because of that understanding. So, there are 8 kinds of doubt. Always we have in our mind after learning the whole Tripitaka, the teaching of the Buddha, after studying philosophy or psychology and various aspects in Buddhism, after studying Theravada and Mahayana and Vajrayana and all the religious denominations, but still you maintain certain doubts in your mind regarding these 8 items. That means there are certain dark corners in your mind. Say 75% clear, but still 25% doubtful, not sure. We cannot blame for that, because this is the nature of our mind. So we will be free from these disturbances. Just now Mr. Boone mentioned 5 kinds of mental hindrances. Now these are the culprits. Kamachanda, Vyapada, Thinamidda, Uddhacha, Kukkucha, Vichikiccha. These 5. If not one of them hinders or interrupts our mind to gain a clear vision. So, as long as we maintain these 5 hindrances, we never gain proper understanding in the Dhamma or in anything. So these are the 8. These are very simple. Even then, when we analyze, we can understand that it is true. Buddhe kankhati, dhamme kankhati, sanghe kankhati. 3. 3 kinds of doubts that we maintain. The doubt about the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha. not easy to understand. Because each and every person creates some sort of understanding about the Buddha according to their way of thinking. That is how they make mistake. To many people, the Buddha is a great teacher, great philosopher, and wonderful teacher, holy man, perfect man, who has rendered wonderful service to mankind, who dedicated his life for the sake of all those living beings in the whole universe. That's all. So last Friday, I have mentioned about the 4 kinds or 10 kinds of balas or the powers that the Buddha, only Buddha can maintain, but not by others. Again, there are 4 things here in this world that achinteya, the word used by the Buddha. Achinteya means unimaginable, incomprehensible. In simple language, very, very difficult to understand. 4 things. The first item is the Buddha. Here the Buddha means not that person, Siddhartha Gautama, who renounced the world and became monks, and after that he gained his wisdom, and after serving for 45 years and he passed away. Not that person. He is not the Buddha. That is a physical body. We can understand. History explains about his family background, his parent, his wife, his child, and everything, and how he spent his life. That is not the Buddha. Here the Buddha means the nature of his enlightenment. Again, this word enlightenment we use very loosely in many religious books. Especially in Zen Buddhism, they always use this word, enlightened. If somebody come and ask a question, then the master gives very subtle answer. This is the nature of Zen. By thinking in normal way, we cannot get the answer. Very subtle way, he gives the answer. But after analyzing and analyzing and analyzing, when he realized the answer, then he said, oh, now he is enlightened. Here enlightened means he realized only that particular item. So when we give a talk, people always say, oh, you gave very enlightening talk. That is the nature of enlightenment. So the Buddha's enlightenment we should not introduce in that way. That is what we cannot understand. Why it is difficult to understand? Usually, people believe that when a founder of a religion revealed something, a doctrine or religious principles, they believe that this message was given by divine authorities, divine agent. In simple language, he received this message from heaven. This is the common belief. Anything that ordinary people cannot understand, Then they say, oh, this might have come down from heaven. So they have never learned to give credit to human intelligence. When you study all those existing religions for the last 2,000 to 3,000 years in this world, no religion has ever given that credit to man's intelligence. That means human beings never had the chance to use their intelligence. They were taught that you cannot understand. Then they stop thinking. You understand? They never think. The Buddha was the only religious teacher in this world who gave this opportunity for us to think freely. Then people realized, yes, we also got intelligence. We also can understand many things, but we have not cultivated. So he paved the way for us to think and understand without depending on divine message or supernatural power. Human intelligence. So the nature of enlightenment of the Buddha was cultivated, developed on this earth, not planted in heaven. Remember this. Cultivated here on this earth by a human mind, not by a divine mind. So people cannot understand how can he gain this enlightenment without any divine message, divine inspiration, so guidance. In fact, he has explained this very clearly. How he gained, I think you have heard, but better to repeat, because I know the nature of your memory. What I preached last Friday, today you cannot remember. So I repeat. Abhinyayang abhinyatang bhave tabbancha bhavitang pahatabbang pahinang me tasma buddhosmi brahmana. Here the definitions of the Buddha or the enlightenment. Abhinyayang abhinyatang. If there is anything in this world, not only on this earth, the whole universe, for me to understand, I studied and realized nature of this world and the nature of other world system, visible and invisible. I realized. Bhave tabbancha bhavita. If there is any good thing in this world, such as the virtues, morals, ethics, noble way of life, all the good principles, I have practiced and cultivated and strengthened and developed my mind. Pahatabbang pahinang me. All the evils or harmful or wicked and immoral belief and practices that human beings maintained in their mind, I have eradicated completely, no more in my mind. Now only three qualities are here. He says, what are those three? First thing, I realized the reality in this universe. Then people can ask, how did he realize? Well, he realized by studying, observing, thinking, analyzing, experiencing. Not as a theory, not as a philosophy, through his own experience. Then he realized that it is true. Then all the good qualities. What are those good qualities? Some of them. Truthfulness, or honesty, or sincerity. Cultivated. Kindness or compassion or sympathy. Cultivated. Then patience and tolerance developed. Generosity practiced and developed. These are the good qualities and the virtues that he cultivated. Pahatabbang pahinang me. What are the evil forces that he has eradicated? He completely eradicated his selfishness, selfish ideas, egoism, and no cruelty or cunningness in his mind, and no craving for worldly pleasures, or anger or jealousy, completely eradicated. Because of this, worries, miseries, fear, suspicion never appears in his mind. Then the mind is completely free from all the dirty things that we are nurturing in our mind. Every day we are going on developing, cultivating, nurturing all these things. Now how can we gain enlightenment? Then we ask, how did the Buddha gain enlightenment? Because we think that his mind also just like our mind. He also got all those things, selfish ideas, jealousy, cunningness, stupid ideas. Then how can he gain enlightenment? This is our problem. So he emptied his mind completely from these dirt and rubbish. That is why we regard him as a holy man, perfect, or sacred religious teacher. That is why we kneel down and worship and respect. Not because he is a very powerful man in this world. We don't worship him by thinking in that way. Not because thinking that he may punish us or to bribe him by worshipping and praising and offering. Not for that. Buddha is not ready for all those things. This is the nature of Buddha. Because we have learned to appreciate him for achieving that highest achievement in this world, which we cannot even imagine how he gained it and what it is. But don't think simply by praying and worshipping we also can get it. He cannot transfer. Just like transference of merit, he cannot transfer this enlightenment to us. But by following the method practiced by him, Just now Mr. Boone mentioned 10 perfections, 10 paramitas that he practiced to reduce all his human weaknesses. So we have lots of human weaknesses. We can do a lot of good things, meritorious deeds, but human weaknesses are there. That is why when we are going to do some religious services, also we get angry, we have jealousy, we harbor all sort of things and criticize and accuse and blames and misunderstanding. These are the weaknesses. We cannot get rid of them. How many people can maintain or perform a religious function without creating misunderstanding, argument, jealousy, without passing remarks? Anyway, one day we had to get rid of them because these are the nuisance mental attitude and difficulties we have to come across, face our lot of problems. So, the doubt about the Buddha's nature of enlightenment always remains in our mind. But we have learned at least something to appreciate and to come and pay respect. That means we realized something in him. Otherwise we never bow down, never respect him. That is not enough. We had to continue. Think more and more. So this doubt always remains. But you should not get fed up thinking that you cannot understand. The next item is the doubt that we maintain about the Dhamma. Still, many people do not know what this Dhamma is. Because all the other religions teach the law given by the God. That is Dhamma. But here the way of the Buddha's interpretation differ. It is not a law given by somebody, by supernatural living beings or the Buddha. And law is not created by another person. There is nobody in this world who can create this Dhamma we introduce as religious law. But all the others, say, given by the God. Take one example, then you can understand very easily. They say, thou shalt not kill. Now it is a law. A law given by the God that you should not kill. Now to them it is a law. To us there is no law. Because people knew that it is wrong even before this message come down from heaven. Don't know how many thousands of years ago they realized this killing is bad. So it is not a law given by another person. This simple example is enough for you to understand the nature of the Dhamma. Again, I have repeated this more than 100 times, I think. But he says, when another person come and try to kill you, how do you feel? Is it necessary for you to get any message from heaven to understand, to express your feeling at that time? Why it is bad? Or is it necessary for another religious teacher to introduce this as a law? Now you can understand why it is bad. according to your feeling, your experience. This is the nature of Dhamma. We have to analyze in this way. Then, the teacher who has revealed this Dhamma or this truth is also not exempted, not free from the effect of this Dhamma. That is the beauty. Can you understand this? The Buddha had to suffer from various kinds of sicknesses. Then he said, do you know why I had to suffer? Why I am suffering from this particular sickness? During one of my previous births, I have committed this. I have done this bad action. It was a hidden bad karma. Within this lifetime, get the chance, fruition, this karma. This is the effect of that karma. That is why I told you the Buddha is not exempted. Then what about us? So when he was suffering from severe pain, he told, I can subdue, control my pain by using my enlightenment and psychic power. But it is not natural. It is artificial. If I do that, I go against the nature, against the Dharma. Why? Anything that which comes into existence as component thing, combinations of elements and energies, is subject to this. That is Dharma. No one is free. Pain, pleasure, both. Sicknesses, happiness, unhappiness. Then, this is Dharma. There is nobody to create this, nobody to stop this. This is Dhamma, this is natural. So when he was very old, nearly 80 years old, and he explained to his disciple, you have seen me for 30 to 40 years ago. At that time, my complexions, features, you can remember, isn't it? Right. And look at my body now. You can see wrinkles all over the body. In fact, I have no strength to walk, because when he was very tired, he sat down under a tree to rest. At that time he was talking to his disciple. He says, my physical body is just like a worn out bullock cart. Very difficult to move. Another example, a few days ago, my photo appears in the State Times. Times 2, first page. Early morning when I get the newspaper, I got a shock. I never knew that. The peculiar thing is, under my photo, word cremation is there. Then are you thinking, when is the cremation? Then the photo looked very funny. Many people telephoned, come and ask, why did you give such young photo to newspaper? People cannot even recognize. I say, I had no idea whatsoever, because this photo was in their file, in the State Times. 31 years ago, the photo. No one can stop. Whatever vitamin you take, you cannot change. Dhamma. So no need to read any books to understand the Dhamma. Think and analyze in this way. Again, we develop our attachments and craving and selfishness and create enormous troubles, harbor jealousy for our living and survival and pleasure to gain something. Then fightings and quarrelings and accusing, blaming. We live for a few years. After that, suddenly die. We never think that we had to live only for a few years. And why should I misuse and abuse my life? To disturb others, to bluff others for my living and for my pleasure. Why can't I adjust my way of life to lead simple or humble, reasonable or harmless life? Then I can die peacefully without worrying. But after working, earning, enjoying and fighting, quarreling, when we are going to die, we worry and cry. Then what is the purpose of this life? When we analyze in that way, that is Dharma. And see the easiest way for us to understand the Dharma. Now you can understand. It is not very difficult. But the problem is how this Dharma and this karma function, who handle it and who manipulate it. That is the problem. The reason is the common belief again. There is a God who maintain, who plan, who punish and reward, handle everything. Then you can understand whether it is true or not, you can understand that. Because here on this earth you can see there must be somebody to handle. But here there is nothing for anybody to handle. This is nature, this is dharma, this is phenomenon. No one can handle it. No one can change it. Just now I told you, the teacher who realized this Dhamma and revealed to us what it is, also had to face the effects or the consequences of having this physical body. That is not the Buddha. Physical body had to suffer, but Buddha never suffered. So in simple language, Dhamma means understanding the nature of things that which exist, whether matters or energies or visible or invisible things or cosmic energies. So if we can understand these things, that is called understanding of the Dhamma. But we have a lot of doubt, just now I mentioned, because we believe there must be somebody to handle this. Not so easy for us to get rid of this doubt, to understand this. Then the other one is Sangha. Sangha means the holy order of the Buddha, ordained by the Buddha. First time in religious history, the well-established, the order of the monks was introduced to this world by the Buddha. Earlier, they never had any order, any system, any disciplinary code. Very systematically, the Buddha has introduced for them to maintain their dignity, their sacredness, their noble way of life, how to behave, how to talk, how to walk, how to sit down, how to eat, how to drink. Everything in our life, you can see the way how Buddha has introduced in his disciplinary code. Now people, when they want to talk about monks' vinaya or discipline, they say the monks have to observe 227 precepts. They say 227. Monks must observe 227. When we analyze this thing, you can understand. In my book, What Buddhists Believe, I have written about 4 to 5 pages, explain all these things. What is Vinaya? The monk's way of life, nature of holy order. So many of those 2227s are manners, traditions, and customs, and way of life. Example, now if I want to drink this one, the Buddha says, before this cup come to this area, I should not open my mouth like this. This is one of the precepts in 227. Again the Buddha says, when you are going to drink this one, he says you should not drink like this. Don't make noise. But Chinese cannot take soup, They must make noise, otherwise no taste. Again, assume something in your mouth, rice or fruits or anything. So while eating this thing, the Buddha says, you should not talk. It's very awkward. And also cannot understand what we talk, sometimes I can see, while eating, people talk like this. They talk something cannot understand. That's why the Buddha, the maintain your dignity, discipline in every word, every action. So those who maintain such a noble way of life, by maintaining discipline in their thoughts, discipline in their words, disciplines in their action, and those who work to gain wisdom and understanding and purification, and those who attained this highest sainthood. This is called Sangha. Then divide into 2. Arya Sangha and Sammuti Sangha. 2. Arya Sangha means the monks who have attained Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahanta, these stages, and who have become saint. Arya. Arya means noble. Noble Sangha. Arya Sangha. Now when you recite Supatipanno, Bhagavato, Sāvaka Sangha, you explain all the good qualities of those Arya Sangha, noble Sangha, who attain that higher stage. Then the Sammuti Sangha, or ordinary monks, who are struggling, working to train themselves at the same time to serve others. Understand? But still, they have their human weaknesses. Although they are not very cruel, very dangerous and harmful, still, certain good qualities you can see missing in them, like honesty, kindness, patience. These qualities very seldom you can see in them, but take time for them to cultivate. Usually, those who meditate in the jungle for their mental purity and purification, peace and calmness and bliss and happiness, people like to worship them and offer dana to them and follow them. Because they stay in the jungle, they try to train their mind. But those monks who live in the society with these people, working with them, in spite of various disturbances, criticisms, accusations, day and night, doing some service to them, attending to their funerals and sicknesses and problems and troubles and educations and teachings and preaching. To them, these monks are not very good, not very holy. And this is general belief. But when these people are in troubles and difficulty, they have worries and sicknesses, they come to these monks, please help, we are in trouble. Please bless, please attend our funeral. To me, those who have courage and knowledge and patience and understanding to work with such people who condemn and accuse and criticize and create all sorts of troubles and disturbances, if they can overcome with all those difficulties and work with them, to me they are more holy, more religious, more usable, more serviceable. But in the jungle there is nobody to disturb them, only monkeys and pythons. To irritate them, provoke them, disturb them, criticize them, nobody. They can close their eyes and sit down for years, nobody to disturb them. Here if we sit down for 15 minutes, how many people come and disturb? How many telephone calls come? Irritating. But we must have courage, knowledge, understanding to face them. This is the way how we have to train ourselves. There must be some obstructions, hindrances for us to train ourselves. So Sangha means those who work for the benefit of others. The first missionaries trained by the Buddha, 60 of them, he advised, go forth and work for the benefit and welfare and happiness of others. This is the mission. They work for the others, to educate. Because some people ask, why should we feed them? Why should we provide food for them? Why can't they go out and work? Why should we respect them, worship them? They are also human beings just like us. These are the things that always work in our mind. So we must know how to appreciate services. Not only services. What a big battle they are having to overcome their own weaknesses. When somebody comes and scolds me, if I can keep quiet by maintaining my smiling face, what a wonderful achievement. If another person goes and condemns and blames and accuses me, but when I come to know that this person has done this, if I can work with him without showing hostility, without regarding him as my enemy, what a wonderful achievement is this. These are the things we are trying to practice, to train ourselves, religious way of life. Now you can understand the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha, our understanding. Then we gain confidence. After that the mind becomes very unshakable. No one can change your mind. I promised to explain 8 items. Only so far the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Doubts. Next one, whether we had another life before we appeared on this earth. That means whether we had another birth or previous birth. And what it is, whether humans or animals or devils, these doubts interrupt our understanding. We cannot understand at once where we were, how we came to this world, and why we are here. But there are so many indications for us to guess, to understand actually where we have come from. So when you study the character, the temperament or the moods, attitudes, the way of life by nature, these things indicate where this person was during his or her previous birth. In the case of the Buddhas and Arahantas and many others, how they maintain the continuity of their life processes by cultivating all the good qualities and precept and principle, and reducing weaknesses until they reach the peak or the final goal. So in our case, still we have many more weaknesses. It is like this. When you take a mirror exposed, after a few years, you can see how many layers of dust accumulated there. Then you cannot see anything. Then you want to cleanse this mirror. So when you remove all the dots clearly, then you can see your face there. So what is happening to us? The rubbish that we have accumulated life after life completely covered the lens of our mind. You understand? We try to see things, cannot see because the lens are dirty. So what we are doing now, through these religious precepts and practices and noble way of life, we try to cleanse, cut down those dirts from the lens of our mind. Then we can see where we were. But not very important. Why? Why do you want to dig out all the rubbish? Not necessary. only advantage is this. Now if we suffer in various ways, then suddenly we came to know where we were and what we have done during our previous birth. So I am suffering today because of those activities, bad activities. Now these good lessons to shape, to mold our future life. Again, some others gain everything what they want without working. Very easily they gain everything, more than enough thing. Nobody knows why they gain. They say good luck. There is no such thing as good luck. Good luck and bad luck mean effect, good and bad effect of our own karma. Then we realized, during our previous birth, we have done a lot of meritorious deeds, service. We helped, supported others. Are these merits now proceeding? So today I am experiencing the result of the good karma that I have done during my previous birth. Then you get courage to do more and more services to others, to reduce our selfishness. So when you read many of those stories in Dhammapada and Jataka stories, in every story you can see this kind of moral lesson for us to understand. Not for curiosity sake. So, when we attained Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, before we attain Arahanta, also we can get or recall where we were, our previous birth. And there are many cases today. Suddenly some people remember only one previous birth, mostly children. That is due to their mental faculties, formations of their mental faculties, and how they maintain their memories. That is memory. But in our case, we have lost this memory completely. So we can get it back after attaining third stage of sainthood or arahanta. 9:30. I think better to stop. So